A unique geography where the east opens to the west and Anatolia meets Mesopotamia. Fertile lands where the river Euphrates brings abundance. An ancient city called the Cradle of Civilizations, in which you will find history inscribed in every corner. A magical land where one feels enchanted once seen even from the sky. This is Sanliurfa. Here, gates of the airport are not only architectural features, they are one of the many passages opening to a different page of human history. The city itself is a gateway opening to history. There is a magical world waiting here for you to explore. Sanliurfa's colors, its sounds, aromas, and tastes will take you by surprise and make you dizzy with joy. Purity in soil, in water, and in stones will embrace you immediately. You pass through a door feeling as though you have just united with the whole universe. Welcome to Sanliurfa.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allah.
The Euphrates Valley has always been regarded sacred since the beginning of human history. And Sanliurfa was an important center of worship during pagan eras, and together with its environs, it continued this value quality during the ages of the monotheistic religions. Many prophets lived in this region and left their traces here. This is why Sanliurfa is called the City of Prophets. Here is the most striking proof of this ancient place, the world's oldest known sacred area, Göbekli Tepe. This archaeological area, which has a history of 12,000 years, is made up of a series of complex temples. These structures were built 6,000 years before the Malta temples or Sumerian ziggurats, and 7,500 years before the Egyptian pyramids. These spectacular structures, which date back to an era when humans did not even know how to build dwellings, deconstructs all the scientific theories proposed so far. Archaeologists discovered 6 circular temple structures which were perfectly shaped, as if they were drawn by means of computer technology. And yet, scientists tell us that there are 20 more circular structures buried underground. Such an elaborate construction could not be realized without a social organization. More information remains to be uncovered to comprehend further. Göbekli Tepe was included in the World Heritage List in 2018, and now it has been accepted internationally. Do you think it is only a mere coincidence that human beings chose Sanliurfa to build their very first temple? Now we leave Göbekli Tepe, which is actually 20 kilometers north of the city center, and visit another sacred area that has also been regarded as a sanctuary as early as the Neolithic age. Balıklı Göl is a symbol of the sacredness of Sanliurfa, and it is regarded as a holy destination by the whole Islamic world. Archaeological findings show that there has been a spring of water here for thousands of years, and it was regarded as a sacred pond around the times when Göbekli Tepe was built. The most striking of these archaeological findings is a statue called Balıklı Göl Man. It was found in a nearby location and dates back to the early Neolithic age, contemporary to Göbekli Tepe. Even though it is regarded as the oldest statue of this size in the world, he still has a vivid sparkle in his eyes, thanks to the obsidian stones set in the holes. Balıklı Göl Man reminds the museum visitors of Sanliurfa's deep history of sacredness in a dignified manner. You can trace this rich history altogether at the Sanliurfa Museum. This spectacular building, with its 34,000 square meters of covered space, offers us an opportunity to follow the story of human settlements in these lands, which were inhabited for 12,000 years and have been regarded as sacred. Next to the museum building, which is an example of Sanliurfa's great leap into the future, there is a spectacular mosaic exhibition space. During the construction of the project, some other remains belonging to Sanliurfa's nearer history were found at this location. The architectural remains and the mosaics were kept in situ. These mosaics date to the Roman era. The richness of the mosaics is also an indicator of the city's welfare level in the antiquity. Mosaics were made up of stones which were picked on the shores of the Euphrates, and an average of 5,000 pieces were used in a square meter. When you look carefully, you will be amazed by the richness of the color palette of these mosaics. These are the colors of Sanliurfa. In each piece there lies a history of thousands of years. They are now called Halepli Bahçe mosaics in the literary world. Achilles' life can be traced with its major scenes, especially the expression of his mother, Thetis, looking sorrowfully while Achilles, leaving her behind to join the Trojan War, could only be a product of great craftsmanship. In another panel of these Roman mosaics, you can see Orpheus, who is mostly associated with music and poetry in the ancient Greek mythology, domesticating wild animals here. This hunting scene mosaic has again international importance. Since it is the only mosaic in the world in which Amazon women are depicted, the variety of animals that are being hunted by the Amazons are reminiscent of how rich the wildlife must have been, and now is in Sanliurfa. Ceylanpınar's gazelles. Pigeons and doves bred with great care all around the region. Horses of Suruç. And the bald ibis of Birecik, now under protection. The The river Euphrates, spreading bounty through the whole region, reaches out to every corner of Sanliurfa County. It brings abundance wherever it touches, just like a lifeblood. Like all the flocks of migratory birds, people passed through here and left their traces. Now, let us leave the city center and head on towards the south. We travel 45 kilometers out of town. Our next stop is Haran, another gateway to history that has never been closed since it opened thousands of years ago. Islamic historians think that the settlement's name might be derived from Kenan, Prophet Noah's grandson, or Aaron, Abraham's brother. The 13th century historian Ibn Shaddad wrote that the Prophet Abraham stayed in Haran for some time, and he adds that Haran was therefore called the City of Abraham. This ancient settlement, where Abraham was welcomed thousands of years ago, embraces visitors from all around the world today. Just like any home in Sanliurfa, the gates of Haran's domed houses are opened not only to history, but today's living traditions. That is, happy faces of Haran's people and their endless hospitality. Haran's domed houses are remaining examples of hundreds of years of history. This building technique does not involve wooden carcasses to form the domes. Instead, they are made by mud bricks, stretching towards the center as they go higher. These houses, more than 200 years old, are carefully preserved by their inhabitants and now serve as open spaces where one can experience the friendly character and hospitality of the Sanliurfa people. Mura is the symbol of relaxation, refreshment, and a warm talk with friends in Sanliurfa. Mura requires patience. It requires love. When coffee is roasted and reaches maturity to meet the beloved, cardamom pods are added to the grains. They are ground together. Their taste unites and their existence transcends into something new. Mura is as refreshing as coffee by itself cannot be, and as dignified as cardamom by itself cannot be. Mura is Sanliurfa itself. It is a tasty gateway combining history, culture, and love. Haran is one of the hidden rooms of the magical world behind the gateways of Sanliurfa. The world's very first Islamic university was set up here, and it is the oldest religious complex in Anatolia, built in the Islamic style. After the Alexandria Library in Egypt was burnt, this was the place where all the important manuscripts of antiquity were translated into Arabic, and a literature on Islamic philosophy was set up. This is a very important educational institution where the very first research studies on medicine, mathematics, and astronomy were made in history. We are now moving to the east of Haran, and our first stop on the way is Soğumatar. Today it is called Yağmurlu, the place with rain, because of its Arabic name, Suk al-Matar, the marketplace of rain. These reliefs on the top of the hill are thought to be dedicated to the gods of the moon and sun. It is also known by the experts that this ancient settlement was the cult center of the moon god, Sin, or Mirilha, in the 2nd century AD. These hills were believed to be sacred worshipping sites, and various ceremonies took place here. This water well in the Yağmurlu village is locally known as the Well of Moses. In the book of Exodus from the Old Testament, it is told that the prophet Moses met his later-to-be wife Zipporah here by this water well. Zipporah's father was in fact another prophet, Jethro. He lived in a nearby town, which is now known as Şuayipşehir, meaning the Jethro town in Turkish. Jethro tried to show his people the importance of being honest in trade while exchanging goods. In every corner of Sanliurfa, we meet a sacred figure who had dedicated his life to goodness. Christ declined the invitation of King Abgar, who reigned in that period, but he felt bad for not being able to visit his town. Instead, he wiped his face and sent him the handkerchief so that the king would be cured of his illness. One of the miracles happened there, and his image appeared on the cloth. It was known as the Mandalion in the ancient world, and was believed to have healing powers. But in the Roman era, it was taken and dropped into this well by mistake. The people of Sanliurfa have seen patience in Prophet Job and understood the importance of taking all in with dignity. They have learned to pursue their dreams from Prophet Elisha. That is why this is the city of prophets. There is one prophet whose name comes to one's mind when Sanliurfa is mentioned, and that is the prophet Abraham. Abraham was born here in a cave by the slopes of Urfa Castle, and he never hesitated to express his faith in Allah ever since he was a young man. One day he crushes all the statues inside the Sin temple to show the right path to the people. The local king orders him to be thrown from the castle into a giant fire. Once he falls into it, the fire turns into water and logs become fish. That is why the fish of Halil-ur-Rahman pond are regarded as sacred, and the castle is now a symbol of Sanliurfa, the city of prophets. This stream that connects to Balıklıgöl is called Ayn Zilha, meaning the Eye of Zeliha. Calling a water spring as the eye is in fact a reflection of a local tradition. Sanliurfa people are aware that the sanctity of these lands comes from water. Water means abundance. Water is life. The ancient names of Sanliurfa are all related to water. Edessa or El Ruha, they both mean the city of water in different languages. The respect for water is a reflection of Sanliurfa's people's respect for the whole universe. Because Sanliurfa people are friends of Allah, they are just Halil, just as Abraham himself was. A friend of Allah embraces anything, whether it is a piece of stone or a living creature. All the house gates in Sanliurfa are open to any visitor, regardless of their origin. And their table is always filled with delicious meals of the region, because their bounty comes from the love of Allah. Liver kebab originates from here. Anything that is cooked in Sanliurfa fire tastes better here. Breakfast energizes you with its local cream and honey. Shuluk dessert is made with purified oil, another specialty of the region. Another symbol of Sanliurfa is isot, the local chili pepper. Choosing your isot requires expertise. Çiğ köfte, as one may call it, local steak tartare, is special here because of its chili and paprika paste. Isot, çiğ köfte, and Urfa folk music are three words that are only associated with Sanliurfa. This special entertainment tradition is called Sıra Gecesi. Every evening, one house hosts this local entertainment during which folk songs are sung one after another. Sometimes a bit of sadness, sometimes a lot of fun takes over the atmosphere. In Sanliurfa, the musical notes are also miniature gateways that will take you back to history, from the bağlamas of Turkmenistan to the violins of the Frankish kingdom, from the lutes of the Ottoman Empire to the drums of the Assyrian tradesmen. A traditional Urfa evening is not complete without çiğ köfte. Çiğ köfte is made by curing minced meat with chili and hand kneading it for a long time, till it has a silky texture. Now, enjoying this hot and exotic taste in our mouths and the harmonious sound of Urfa folk songs in our ears, it is time that we pass through another gateway. The old streets of Sanliurfa are woven like a labyrinth. They have an oriental air about them. The same tale, like the character, could also be seen in monumental buildings of the old city, among which the bazaar stands out first. The bazaar, or bedesten in Turkish, was built in 1562 during the reign of Suleiman the Magnificent. When you walk along the alleyways of the bazaar, you still feel the guild system of the Ottoman times. Coppersmiths, haberdashers, goldsmiths are all located along separate streets. The caravanserai of Gümrük Khan is also built with the rest of the bazaar. This caravanserai building is set upon a square plan, with a little brook passing through the courtyard. It was most probably built as an inn for the merchants visiting the bazaar. Gümrük Khan still reflects the splendor of the past and combines them with Sanliurfa's colorful social life today. You can taste the wild pistachio coffee. Listen to Urfa folk songs accompanied with violin. You can join domino players too, if you like. What gives Sanliurfa city center this fairy tale-like atmosphere is the stone, which is called the Nahit stone. It is a special type of local limestone, which is a perfect solution to climatize houses. Nahit stone is quarried in the Tek Mountains lying on the east of Haran. Since this geological formation has been used for construction throughout history, there are many artificial caves in the vicinity. The most famous one of these is the Bazda Caves, which are a complex system, or rock-cut corridors. The Bazda Caves are an example of transformation of stone into art, void into space, and history into present. Birecik is another enchanting city of the region, where you will be surrounded with a tale-like atmosphere. Its castle was built in the Assyrian era. The famous bridge, built in 1956, is the second longest bridge of its time. Takoran, a valley stretching from Siverek to Adıyaman, also another spot to be explored. This amazing geography of hidden natural wonders might be a good destination for trekking or nature photography. A boat cruise on the Euphrates will take you on a journey not only in space, but also in time. There, a different type of tranquility will take over your spirits. The town was moved to a new location 7 kilometers away following the flooding of the Euphrates River, and the old settlement became a tourist destination with the name of Hidden Paradise. Just like a black rose, Halfeti is unique to this land. It resembles all the hidden beauties of Sanliurfa, hiding between its petals. Gates take us to different universes. It sometimes could be some water, a stone, or even a smiling face. Sanliurfa is a mixture of all, a land of magical gates. Behind each gate, there awaits for us a different world, a different experience. From the point zero of human history, it's ancient Roman era. From the Seljuk Empire to modern Turkey, to real life itself. You can experience every stage of history with its sounds, with its colors and tastes. Sanliurfa is a gateway to history.